Hello tubes, this is Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. I'm sorry about the weird angle I'm shooting the video on. I'm having to charge I didn't realise I've got hardly any charge left in the battery on my camera. I've just been returning last night to my Jena Auerstaedt project, where I'm trying to get together a Prussian army, a chunk of French army, and obviously Saxons as well. But at the moment, let's just concentrate on the Prussians. So, if you remember, let me get some type of pointy stick. Oh, this is a weird angle. Sorry, I just decided I've been messing around with these last night, and I'm just letting some paint dry on the client's basing I'm doing, and I thought I'd have another go on this while I've got the chance. If you remember, I increased the size of the plumes, probably a bit too much really. I used paper clips. I took off the white metal swords and used paper clips, so I've got like straight heavy horse swords now. I put a cloak on the back, although I might have put the colours wrong on these. I might have got these as dragoon colours on the top of the cloak, so I'll probably be turning those back into grey. I'm just faffing around. This is an original one, I think I've not changed yet, but I'm just trying to just find another one. I've been painting what I would call some better lines on the piping on the chevrolet, so the horse blanket, and I'm generally just going around starting to do the gauntlets last night. So it's a bit of a mismatch. I've just literally shoved them all on there, so they're not in any particular order. But I'm just starting to do all the slings for the cartridge boxes. I believe this would normally be parade ground with this slip of different, obviously it's like a wine dregs colour, and it might well have been white, just standard pipe clay white, actually on the campaign. But I just thought with the white, all the white uniform with a tint of yellow in it, you might just be able to see. I just thought, they're my figures, and it's my collection. So I've blacked out some of the swords now, ready for putting some brasswork on at some stage. But I'd like to get these all done over the next couple of weeks, and based and whatever. I still haven't got round to getting an idea on what I want to base them on yet, size wise. So there's a fair bit to go, but I had 10. If you remember, I went and sent off, cost a fair bit of money, but I got a couple of battalions of musketeers, and so infantry, and I decided, for some reason I just bought 10 of these rather than say 12. So I've bought an extra rider. And as you can see there, I'll drill out the reins again like I've done on those guys. I forgot to say I drill out all the infill of the reins. I'm going to make him an NCO, so he'll have a black tip to his plume, and I'll have to make a cane. German NCOs tended to carry a cane, so I'll put a cane on there somehow. So he'll be joining his brethren as an NCO, and normally in German regiments, it's NCOs carry the colours, so a flag, and I presume I'll have to look on my notes now to make sure that if it's the same with the Prussians. But this guy will obviously be a standard bearer, and he'll probably need a cane as well if he's an NCO. I've just got to check. And I should have said, I also manipulated the arms on these, so there may be a couple of originals, rather than just, say this guy here is going to be the NCO, rather than just have them. I think they came in about 2 poses, I might be wrong, but if you gently move them about, you can actually manipulate the arms, or put a very slight cut in and then move them. So that's what I did as well. I manipulated the arms on these guys, just to give me, I think I've done it on that guy there, rather than cut them off and, you know, re-stick them, and I just gently manipulated them. So yeah, that's that. What else were you doing, Gav? I'll get some of the infantry out quickly. Right, there's not a lot of difference in these guys particularly, but these are dragoons. I brought a regiment of dragoons. Now I wasn't going to open these, but I've just noticed something. But yeah, nice figures. I say these are all ABs. Just probably put it in the description. One without a hat on there. But I've got all these. I like my horses charging on in the main rather than just standing still. So you know, there's different horses. I just move the tails around a bit. I don't do anything apart from obviously clearing the infill out. We'll get a lot of this infill that you'll need to drill out if you want to do it. I wouldn't say properly, but if you know, make them look the part, drill it out, and obviously drill out the front. But I've got all these charging horses, and they've given me a standing horse. I mean, really? You know, I actually bought 3 or 4 extra horses in charging poses because I've had this done to me before, not just by AB Eureka figures, but other manufacturers. And it really annoys me because if you don't know your blooming market by now, I mean, really, a standing horse amongst a load of charging horses, really? Calm down, Gav, calm down. So he will be moved luckily for one of my spares. I asked for some spares, so I've got 3 spares there, but I shouldn't have to do that. Right, these guys have some really nice poses. These are Musketeer Schützen. Sorry, archers decided to wake up and come in and say hello. But I do like these poses. Very nice. I think I've got about 16 of these little guys. So it's been a while since I kept saying to myself, "Oh, I'll do an unboxing." And this isn't really an unboxing. More as I was just thinking I needed to get those 2 extra Cuirassier. Can we go clippy clopping anymore, Arch? Oh, we can. Now he's going in cupboards investigating. Now he's an old timer at 12. He tends to do a lot of sleeping. Drops himself down and he's away with the fairies for about an hour and a half. So I think that's about. I think I might have got an officer as well. A couple of officers. I bought a fair amount of spare officers as well, just because I thought, you know, they. Not just for these guys, but for the 2 regiments I've got. I just thought they would. I like a good mix, if that makes sense. Right, these guys are my musketeers. No, not those musketeers with D'Artagnan and co. As you can see, really nice. On the cartridge box, we've got the brass badge. Will you settle down, young man? And again, we've got a few poses. I'm not sure yet, I might turn some heads, I'm not sure, you know, like clip them off and re-stick them, but to be fair, I mean, they've got a fair amount of like head turning type poses already. The bayonets, these look a lot more heavy duty than the spindly little things that I've worked with, like on the French and the British. I don't know if it's a Prussian thing or if they've changed them around, because they're renowned for always breaking off. But I may, as I've done the swords, I may have a go at taking these off and reattaching them. I mean, as in making them out of metal. I've got a load of spare ABs of different sorts, so I'll get the ropiest ones, and I'll see we've got one here that's it's almost gone. See if we can straighten him for now, but it'll snap. Yeah, it's probably weakened now, but that's one of the drawbacks. And it's not just AB, it's a drawback on most. You've either got to have them oversized and chunky to try and withstand a knock, or you either put up with them like they are, or change them. So that's those. Oh, I can't get to it now because of course there's Murphy's Law. I've got everything oh, hang on, might let it go. I bought this off the internet. I don't know why, because it's only Osprey stuff. I bet you can't even see that, can you? No. So I've got this on a wire, so I can't move the camera much further. I bought this, bit of a dud really, as I've already got this type of thing already. Just well, obviously it came with a Del Prado figure, but people sell the little things on, and I just thought, well, it's a bit more artwork than I can base my figures on. So that's what they'll look like, to a degree. That's, you see an NCO again with his cane, and the tip to the plume there. I think, yeah, it's the same one on the back. So yeah, there's not a lot in that. If you see these for sale, you know, I mean, they're obviously they're Osprey type books. Well, they're not even a book, but you know, a little pamphlet. But it's there's nothing different as such as you'd get out of your Osprey books. Got some mounted officers, mainly for my I'll put them in leading my musketeer regiments. They're roughly the same. And the horses again, these are more or less walking forward. I've got some sergeants with, hang on a second, some right bendy spittoons, like the pikes that they've got. You see the head at the top there. I'm just trying to see if this guy, that look as if, oh yeah, he's got his cane. There's his cane on. Oh, there you go, so there's his cane there. I will of course change those for metal wire of some description, whether it's, I use the, as I said to you guys, I tend to use the large scale paper clips, but I'll change those and either make my own head or attach the white metal head on. I've also got, these were in here and I'm not sure why, because I've not opened the, didn't say officers on the packet, but these look like officers more than NCOs, but hey ho. There's no canes on them or anything. These are titled, and I'm not sure, I can't remember which is which, but Landwehr officers, and just says German officers on my purchase note. I bought 3 of those. I thought I could add plumes or whatever to them. Might make a few. Again, I just like the different poses. That's why I buy a lot of the sergeants, because don't get me wrong, on a base you're not going to be able to get, I think somebody had a pop at me a good few years ago that didn't look very realistic with a sergeant, a particular, or an officer, and they're all on a base. You know, not much I can do. I can't put them at regulation places. You know, they're just there as you know, eye candy really. You know, I can't, if they're on a certain size base, there's not much you can do. You know, I can't have a particular sergeant standing behind whatever, you know, whatever position that he's supposed to be in. So I just like to have different, you know, whether it's drummers, officers. As I say, these guys, it's been a while since, I'm trying to find the date. When did I get these? It was last year, wasn't it? 7th of the 4th, 23. Oh, fair enough. But yeah, I think I'd plan to put plumes on these and just, you know, muck around with them. My drummers, as I say, I like each base to have a drummer. Again, I'm just having a look if they're all the same. Don't think that one is. I might be wrong. Don't worry, there's only one more packet to go after these guys, and you can all heave a sigh of relief. So what I'll do with these, most of them might be the same pose. I'm not 100% sure. But what I'll do is I'll try and like move a head round, and I can't do much with the arms. It'll be fairly solid there. But maybe, you know, move a head round. Not a lot I can do. What I normally try and do is maybe throw the odd colour trouser on. I've got to check for the campaign feel of these guys. So there's my drummers, and these are the original musketeer officers. So as you can see, with those other guys, you know, I've got to get a plume on them. A couple of different, again, I'll be changing the swords out. But I don't like just one, you know, just the command. So he's almost losing his plume. But again, there's enough there to be going on with. The other guys are all the same, really. The old classic officer hand on hip pose. I don't think that's changed in all these centuries of whatever army you are in the world. So that's it. All because I needed to dig two mounted figures out to make this unit up. So yeah, let's get another one better halfway there. You know, we're getting there. The face colour, by the way, the base. It was just to tell me how far I'd got on each trooper. So the faces will be the last bits I do, to be honest with you, apart from the clean-up. So yeah, that's that. I'm sorry if it's not been a great deal of interest to most people, but I've been promising myself to do an unboxing of these figures for ages, and I just never got round to it. And once I dug these out of the drawer, so these guys, I'd say that's another one that will just have maybe an arm twist or something. I don't believe I did any head movements with these. I just kept them as they were, apart from the plume. Oh, that plume doesn't look too bad, to be honest with you. Probably looks a damn sight better than mine once I put on. But it's a nice little project. As I say, I decided to go with that one rather. I'm often tied into me British, obviously being British, although saying that, then most people like the French. But I thought this early period of the war, the Napoleonic Wars, you know, I've got some Prussians to go. That the Saxons are always a colourful units. So, you know, between the Prussians, Saxons, I've got that French style where they're starting to move over, you know, different uniform wise, but they're obviously still fairly colourful. So I'll just keep on beavering away with these Prussians. Once these are done, I plan to do only like it could take me years. I thought, right, I'll do these dragoons. I'll do a regiment of foot next. Do the dragoons. If I've got another regiment of foot in there, I'm not sure if I have or not. But I'll get all those sorted. Then I'll make another purchase of more Prussians, because I want to do Hohenlau. I've just been watching a documentary and I can't pronounce the guy's name properly. I do apologise to my German friends. Hohenlau, believe, but I'm basing it roughly around his units at Jena, just to have something to base it on, really. And then, as I say, I think two fat lardies have brought out their Jena. What's that? The Napoleonic rule set they do anyway from Dave Brown, is it? But I think they've done a second rendition of that. So at some stage in the year I'll get that. Yeah, I just thought I've got I wouldn't even say space on the desk really, but I've got I've almost finished the client's commission. As I say, I'm just going to go back to painting these very tortuous bases. I'll go through that when I do the unveiling of them. Yeah, I've got those to finish. I've got some more. I just get a sprue or get a box, depending, and I paint. I find that Epic. I quite enjoy painting those, and it's just I can put them on the desk, and they're extra income for me when a unit's completed, even if it takes a month or more. It's just I just pick them up and paint them when I've either got the time or the feel for it. I've got to just make. I was about to paint the blooming Hornice, 15mm Hornice from the Flames of War stuff. As you know, I've been heavily converting that, or scratch and building it, whatever you want to call it. And I was about to say, right, this afternoon before I get back to the client stuff, I'll quickly spray over some primer or some. I was just going to put black lacquer over. And then I realised that I hadn't done a blooming towing cable for it, so, and I want to stick the towing cable on, so that'll get done at some stage tonight, along with carrying on with these Prussians. So yeah, thank you very much. I know it's all over the place yet. It's one of Gav's videos yet again, and shot at a stupid angle. But I just thought, well, I'm getting these out, these two figures out. I might as well have a go through the packs. Good job I did, because I didn't realise that Standing Horse was amongst them. I'm really glad I bought the extras now. But I would strongly advise anybody, rather than have the rigmarole of either having to send them back, and because most of these companies, a lot of the times, I know they're very busy and they're filling orders, but the amount of times over these years, as a commercial painter and as a private guy, like these Prussians are mine, they're from my collection and I'll be gaming them. The times you get a standing horse or two standing horses amongst a charging unit, it really annoys me. Only because you've the faff around you've got then of having to say, you've either got to put up with it, and in the early days they used to, and I think my units used to look ridiculous. They used to have these charging horses with two standing in the middle of them, like, or tended to be the command group for some reason. So if you can, because you can buy separate horses, say like from Eureka UK, and because obviously we're in the UK and other places. I know it's a bit extra money, but anybody that's just starting out, I would strongly suggest, if you can buy a few extra horses of the pose that you want, run it, charging, or if you want standing poses, because I'll guarantee you, if you've got a standing unit, then there'll be a charging horse in there somehow. So I just a suggestion is to buy two or three, and when you do get something like that, the standing horse can be put amongst. There's always something you can use it for. That's not a problem, but it is a problem when you've got a unit. It's supposed to be in a unit that's doing something completely different. So yeah, so just buy yourself, if it's 28mm, if it's 18mm like this, just get yourself a few extra poses if you can, and just keep them in your box, and they're there then to because also sometimes you might be a horse short. I've had that, not throwing this at Eureka UK, I can't even remember who's done it to me, but I've had it a couple of times where people are rushing and they've miscounted, and you end up with a horse short or a rider short, one of the two. Yeah, I tend to build up. Again, it's extra expense that you shouldn't have to do, but it's just wise, If you can get yourself a few spares, if you're really into it, like these will be based around that time period, So if you can build up a few spares, like if you're going to order two or three extras, and they're always there then, because if you are down a figure, because people, they do miscount or whatever. I think they actually weigh them mainly these days, don't they? I presume. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for stopping by and taking a look. That was probably of no interest to anybody at the moment, but It was. I thought at least I've finally shown off all these figures. As I say, I can't see any massive. I've not really. I'll be fair, I've not really looked. I'm on a stupid angle, and I've not really looked. They're still in the sealed bags until I've just shown them. But I can't see any. You know, I've had bits before, like where I mean, I think the Saxons, AB Saxons, I did that huge commission, and those there were a lot of not great. You know, the castings were the moulds, I suppose, were on the way out. I've no idea. And I also on the Prussians, like for the later period of the Prussian army, I did those and they weren't particularly great. But these are very nice, very well cast, and obviously Tony Barton's sculpting's, you know, up to its usually high standard. Obviously these have been done a while anyway, but yeah, very nice. I'm going to look forward to working on these. That's the problem now. I'm looking at the infantry thinking, oh, I could do this and I could do that, but no, Gav, we're slowing down with the cavalry enough. Let's get these all 12 of them done, because that's going to be, I think, the size of my units for cavalry. I think I'll stick at 12, and as only because I'm literally trying to hit all the bases, aren't I? You know, it's Prussians mainly, but then add some. I might even just go straight to the Saxons and then do the French afterwards. I'm not sure, but I just thought they were nice, colourful units, and who knows? When I finally do get round to gaming, and maybe the Prussians might actually win a few. We shall see. Anyway, look after yourselves. Take care. As I say, I'll get that Hornice up probably Sunday or Monday. I got as far as making some little. I don't even know what armatures is a word, I believe. As I say, I'm going to try and have a go at sculpting some, and they just got to have a bit of green stuff, because from what I've been looking up and I've tried it, if you just try and put the epoxy putty on them, it just slides off half the time. So I'll either put a bit of tin foil around them, but they're so small at that scale. I think I'm just going to have to put a bit of green stuff on, and then the maybe a bit of putty on top. I don't know. Work it out. But that's to be done. I have got some. Whenever those figures come, those 40mm figures from Perry Miniatures get here, I'll give you a look at those. What else? They're Napoleonics, obviously. I've got some Warlord games I bought mainly on the price. I wanted some World War II figures to paint and sell, and before I go back to Empress and buy a big chunk of Germans off them, I needed to make some more money to throw into the buying pot, if that makes sense. And I happened to come across these a very good deal on eBay. If you keep pulling up enough stones, eventually you'll find something underneath. And I got a really good deal on some Metal Winter American Veteran Squad, I believe it's called. So we'll take. I mean, they're probably ages old in the sense of how long they've been out, but as usual, I'll do a video on them as well. So thanks a lot. Look after yourselves. Thanks for following along. All my videos, because I know they go all over the shop. We will have a car video up as well coming up at some stage. I was supposed to be spraying today, but for different reasons I couldn't get to do it. So there'll be a video on that as well at some stage. So if you're into your Napoleonics, hopefully, well, we'll definitely have a. They're those 1980s era well, they're not originals, but you know, they're that era from Alternative Armies, standing in for Epic for the client because he wanted these ones in firing poses. I'll have that hopefully in the next couple of 3 days. A quick flash up of probably some plastic Epic Napoleonics, but I'm doing for the next ones up for sale. I'm doing first Royal Scots, well, 3rd Battalion Royal Scots, and again, being Royal, they've got blue facings again, so I just seem to be doing loads. Every time I do Epic in plastic, it's red with blue facings, but never mind. So hopefully, my Prussians, at least with their white tinted yellow tinted white uniforms, are a bit of a break. So look after yourselves, and we'll speak soon.